What up, YouTube family? This is your boy, Jonathan Evans. And listen, today you got to stay tuned because we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Let it go. All right, listen. So there's a lot of things that I was holding on to in my life that I needed to let go. There were things, there were people, there were things that I wanted to accomplish that God didn't want me to accomplish. He had something else for my life. And I knew that it was time to let those things go because those things got so frustrating for me to actually continue to hold on to them. It was very daunting for me to keep a hold of something that I needed to let go. There were some things in some places and some destinies and some purposes you can't experience and you can't get to if you have too much weight on you that prevents you from moving in the right direction. And so there are some things that you're gonna have to let go. There are also, listen to me, some things that you need to let go, not because you wanna see them go away, but you wanna see it work out. That it's better in the hands of God than it is in your hands. And a lot of times, a lot of us have more faith in ourselves than we have in God. Why would I say that? Because we won't give it to Him. We won't let it go and put it into the hands of God. So yes, there are some things that you need to let go that need to be put to rest so that you can experience your purpose. They are a weight to how high God wants you to fly in 2022. But there are also some things you need to let go because they need to be in God's hands. They're better in God's hands than they are in your hands. So let's start talking about the things that you need to let go because you have somewhere to go and those things are holding you back. When I look at Joshua 1 and it says, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, Joshua was called to lead the people into the promised land. The hardest thing in the world was to let go of Moses. The hardest thing in the world was to let go of something that was great for yesterday, but that's no good for tomorrow. Because God told Moses in Deuteronomy 32:52, you can see the land, but you can't go into the land. Don't you realize that there are some people that you have to say, I love you, but I just can't take you? That you're gonna have to realize that you're gonna have to let them go. Even some thoughts or ideas and dreams that you have go in order for you to experience your true dream, which is the dream and the promise that God has for you. And so it's important for us to understand and to be able to figure out what is in my life that I don't want to let go, but I need to let go. Because if I stay with them or with it or in that place, I'm going to be stuck on the wrong side of the Jordan. Moses was great. Listen, Moses was the one who brought him out of Egypt. Moses was the one who made manna fall from heaven. Moses was the one who God used to split the Red Sea. Moses was the one who had the tablets with the 10 commandments on it that gave the people the law of righteousness. Moses was the one who hit a rock and water came out of it at Mount Horeb and all of the people got to drink from the water. I mean, Moses was a beast. He wasn't just good, he was a beast. But Moses, even though he was great for yesterday, was no good for today and tomorrow in Joshua's life. And Joshua could not stay at the gravesite of something that God had buried. God buried Moses suddenly. And while the people of Israel mourned for 30 days, they eventually had to get up, leave Moses, as great as he is, where he is, so that they can experience the promises of God. What in your life does it seem like God is burying? What in your life is God saying, all right, it's time. And He's made a shift on you. And it doesn't mean that it feels good. It's just gonna be good where you're going. But a lot of times it takes pain to get there. It doesn't mean that it feels great. The people of Israel were mourning. They were mourning the fact that they lost Moses. This wasn't a happy time, it was a sad time. But I want to make sure that you understand that a lot of times monumental mourning is just the precursor to a monumental calling. That a lot of times you are your saddest before you're your happiest. That a lot of times you experience devastation before you ever run into destiny. Here Joshua is in a situation where he has to let Moses go. Now, I can't speak for whatever that is in your life. Your life and my life and the people around you, they're all different. But you can think about that thing that you've been holding on to so long and it's keeping you on the wrong side of your purpose. It's keeping you on the wrong side of righteousness. It's keeping you on the wrong side of holiness. You've been having fun in that lifestyle for a long time or going to those places or with those people for a long time. Those are your boys. Those are your girls. Those are your people, all of those different things. But you have these goals. Like you have these straight up goals that you're trying to get to in 2022. You don't want 2022 to be like 2021 and 2020. And God is telling you today, let it go. Because The Jordan isn't but so big. If you let it go, I can split that open so that you can walk through on dry ground and go right into your destiny and know that your destiny is going to have other battles. The conquest of Canaan, there's other battles in there. But fighting those battles and still holding on to this past, fighting those battles and still holding on to this shame, this regret, these fears, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. And who's better to help you do that than the one who pressed through it all? Jesus Christ. By not only giving your life to him, but focusing on him and noticing that he's not asking you to do anything that he hasn't already done. That he emptied himself, becoming the form of a bondservant, not taking up the likeness of God, who he is, but emptying himself. And then at the end, in that same chapter, Philippians 2, he's highly exalted and lifted right back up. So think about where you'll have to experience pain now, but a whole bunch of gain later. But then there are not just things you need to let go because you need to leave them. There are things you need to let go because you want them. There are things that you actually need to let go because they're better in God's hands than they are in your hands. And that's a totally different thing. Your marriage, you say, man, it's getting real hard to hold on. And you feel burdened by it. You're frustrated by it. You're losing your mind because of it. And you've been praying that your marriage will be better this year than it was last year. You need to put it in the hands of God. You've been praying for your business. You've been praying for your dream, your idea. You've been praying for your purpose, but it has you frustrated. Your blessing has become a burden to you. People have become burdens to you that used to be blessings to you. You got wayward children. You got all of these things going on. They're your children. You're not trying to just let them go. You want to see them win, but they're going to win in the hands of God. How do you know that you're letting something go? Well, because you're no longer burdened by it and you're no longer trying to manipulate its outcome. You're no longer burdened by it and you're no longer trying to be the one manipulating the outcome. Jochebed, Moses' mother, had to do this with him. She put him in the Nile when Pharaoh had an edict to kill all of the boys. Remember that story? Pharaoh had an edict to kill all of the boys. And Jochebed, Moses' mother, said, well, I'll just put you in the Nile. She wasn't getting rid of him. She was praying that God would save him. And as soon as she put the baby down, God's sovereignty picked it up. Let me help you understand two things. You need to let it go and let it go. You need to let it go because it doesn't need to be a part of your life. And you need to let it go because you need this thing to be a part of your life. You're letting it go for two different reasons, but the same goal. You want to win. Put that baby, your marriage, the thing you love that you want to see develop and grow, in God's hands, and watch his sovereignty pick it up and put it right back into yours. In that same story, Jochebed gets Moses back and gets to nurse her own baby, and Pharaoh pays her wages to do it because she put it in the hands of God. Let it go. Let it go. Because you don't need it for your future, and let it go because you want it in your future. God wants you to let it go so that you can experience his power in your life. All right, listen, as always, be steadfast, unmovable, always abound in the work of the Lord, and know that it will not go in vain. It will be hard, but it will not go in vain. Let it go, let it go. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure many people can see this video because we all have stuff we need to let go. Till next time, let's get it.